Hello. Today we're going to try to make a wall socket phone holder. I realized that I didn't have anything that could support my phone when I plugged it in the socket, in the wall, not like a socket which has a table just beneath it or something, just a plain socket with no support at the base. See what I mean? And then I'm obliged to drop my phone on the floor, which I heard is not very good. I can't do the explanation now because I don't have all the details, but you can check online or ask people that are good with electricity or with gadgets, etc. They could tell you, but it's not always very good to just drop the phone on the floor, if not for anything, for the reason that someone could be passing by and just kick it and just step on it, whatever it is. So I thought of getting online and buying a phone holder that could just support my phone, which I have plugged against a socket on a wall that doesn't have a support at the bottom, and you have the socket in a place where you cannot place a stool because it's going to block a passage, or because it's so it poses some type of danger to safety generally. Somebody might trip, etc. So the solution is to make something that can hold the phone just not far away from the socket and against the wall and as flat as possible. Now, one option for people is to just get online and just order for it. No problem at all. But if you want to make it by yourself, we can just try to do one right now, which is what I'm going to do now. And I'm doing it live. I'm showing you. I'm going to try to make it within the shortest time possible. We are going to put on the stopwatch so we see how long it took me to make it. Now, stopwatch is running. I hope that the screen doesn't go black. But you need this type of thing, flat, that can stay on the wall, against the wall. Okay? See how fat it is. If you put a phone in it, the phone will lie flat and the phone will not pop out on the side. Okay, so if you stand it, the phone is going to be well held and well hidden in it. That's it. So that's why I used this kind of box. It's a hard cardboard, actually. It's an empty chocolate cardboard. It's a cover. Okay, so I had already started some work on it, based not much. So it's like taking a carton or whatever item you think would be easy for you to cut. Like I took this cardboard, okay, and then you look at it well and you see if it can take your phone. For example, if you put a phone into it with the protection, with the cover, would it sit properly inside this way? That's one thing you should consider. And then, does it have a base wide enough to have the phone sit down there? Yes. We are going to cut somewhere here, and this will be where the charging cable would pass. All right, so this is a cardboard. I've just had it, I put the phone in it and I cut it. I made sure that I put it so that it could hold the phone halfway or a little below halfway when you stand the phone up. Okay, meaning for this phone, I'm going to use this for. You put the phone in here. The base of the phone is here. That's the part where you're speaking to. And then the phone is as, should I say, tall as this. So this is the whole phone. And see where I've made the cut. So it means a little bit less than half, so that you can leave the buttons for the volume and power exposed on the sides. Okay, so that's it. It's up to you to decide how long you want it to be. I've already spoken for 2 minutes. See the stopwatch. So that 2 minutes, we presume that we have taken this container, this this cardboard cover. It's for chocolate. We've taken it. Now I put the phone in it. I check how tall the phone is. And then I make a mark here inside with a pencil. I make a mark to say here. I do the arrow facing down here to know that this is the base of the phone. Okay. Then I turn it upside down. I do the same thing because I'm going to make 2. Depends on how many sockets you want to make this thing for. And When you make this, it could save you some time to when next you go to a store, to when next you're able to order for this thing online. But this is a makeshift one, which works very well as well. So 3 minutes. Let's presume that I have cut this, and cut this out using this type of knife. Okay, and of course you would have needed a ruler to measure if you need, or if you're very good at using your eyes to measure without having to use a ruler, fine. Otherwise, you measure your phone and you measure the height you want to cut the thing from here, and then you put it here and you say, okay, I'm gonna make my cut from here. Okay, that's what you need a ruler for. You'd also need a double-sided tape at the end of it all, because that's what you use to hold this thing onto the wall. And then you need a small tape like this too. They sell a lot of them just for the edges, you know, for the borders. Look, it doesn't look fine at all. So this is just for the finishing. And remember, it's makeshift. This is just for people who love to make things, okay? Otherwise, you save yourself the stress and go and get in a store and order for it online, whichever one's convenient for you. But there is this satisfaction you get making things by yourself. Okay, as we were saying, you see, I made a line so that when I'm cutting it, you know, if I don't keep my hand still, at least this line will guide me. So I was cutting this. Make sure that you are careful and you don't injure yourself. Look at the handle is sturdy, and get a sharp knife so that you don't have to have edges too rough by the time you're done cutting. Okay, I have marked it with the tip of the knife. It's not a kitchen knife, but if a kitchen knife works for you, okay. It's better to get these knives for artwork. Okay. Maybe rough on the edges. So this is gone. I was able to get this too out of that. So we put this aside for now. You can choose to close up the gap here. Okay, you can choose to cut a strip like this strip, and then you put it here. Okay, put it here. This strip, you could cut it off this way, just cut it along this way and measure and put one here and put another here if you want, but I'm going to do them without the strip for now. Yes, my cable for charging the phone, here it is. I want to charge my phone. Let's presume the phone is standing in here, okay, and I want to connect my charger. You see, there is no hole. I need to make a hole. So I measure, I mark with my pencil or my pen the left and the right side of this charger as I hold it. You take your phone and you place it there, then you mark the left and the right side. Okay, you mark just the left side and the right side this way. Good. So gonna do mine. I already kind of marked it here and here. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. You can see the marks here and here. Okay, here and here. So next up for me to cut, I'll cut it all the way down, all the way down. Okay, you've got to be careful. Remember, you can choose to just bend it and leave it this way. Okay, I've done that. I've marked this and marked this side. This is for the charger cable. Usually they're all of the same size, so, or you could cut something wider just to be on the safer side if you didn't get to measure, no problem. This, be careful for your fingers. This is why you should cut it slowly, not be in a rush, so that the knife or the blade of this knife does not bend. The blade of this device does not bend and then injure you. So you do this as well. I'm just going to do this actually. There you have it. I think we're done with that. Then we'll take the tape I had put a little so that I could mark where I stopped using it the last time. Then I'll do this. I'll do this, okay? I hope you can see what I'm doing. Not very well. I apologize for the lighting. I'll try to improve on it as time goes on. But yeah, this is to cover up the ugly edges. You make sure that your hand is as straight as possible. Do this, press this. Okay, I've got to do it properly. It was too low. Okay, too low. Yes, probably high enough now. Press it. This is, you can use a paper and put a gum at the other end, whatever is available for you to use. Then, okay, then I cut it off from here. You use, when you cut tapes with scissors, they tend to become less sharp because the gum stays on the blade. But you can carefully get the gum off if you wish. So I'm going to cut the corners here. Okay, this is so that I can bend the tape. See? Cut the side. I didn't do that for the other side, but no problem. Okay. Then you see why I needed to cut the tape at the edges earlier on? See? Then I fold in this side. Because I didn't cut it to be very straight, I had to follow the straightness of the tape and not the straightness of the edge here. Okay, it's slanting downwards on the side, but you know, you can cut it and get it right if you measure it properly. That's it. I'll do the same for the second piece. I'm sorry, I have my face in the camera. Okay, I'm just measuring with my eyes at this point. Make sure you have enough tape hanging so that you'd have enough to fold over when you are ready. Look at that. Avoid any folds. Otherwise, if you already don't have straight and properly measured edges and then you have folds on this type of tape, you know your item is going to come out not as good looking as you would have wished or imagined, or as you had imagined it. So here I'm not using any tape to measure. Here, remember, I cut this a little bit so that I can fold. I cut this a little bit here. You see, I cut this as well. The tip of the scissors is not very sharp. Yes, I've destroyed the stapler. Okay, you have this here, you have this. All I need to do is bend it. You see, I didn't cut it really straight or neatly, but this is just the prototype. And you can repeat this. The more you make, the more professional you get. You become an expert. And then you count how many sockets you have in the living room, in the bedroom, wherever you need this type of thing. And bingo, there you go. We're done. We are done. This is how it looks. I'm so sorry for this poor lighting. I'll try to do better as soon as I get options. So this is how they look, and that's it on a normal day. I didn't paint it. It was already golden. So what we have to do last, it's already 13 minutes. This is how they look. We put the double-faced tape, okay? Double-faced tape look like this. Look at how thick it is. You have some that are slimmer than this or fatter than this, okay? We're watching the time. It's 13 minutes. Okay, you either put one across or two small ones. I'll just put one across at the top and one across at the bottom, okay? So that it is stronger, you know, on the wall. It doesn't fall off under heavy weight or when you put a heavy phone, okay? So I could just put one, but I'm gonna put one up and one down. So that's what we're doing. Again, you need a tape to measure how long from left to right you want this to be, but I'm just doing it without a tape, measuring with my eyes, just the eyes, without the tape. Again, you have to use, trying to cut this. Yes, this is the double edge tape. Probably I should just do one. It's probably gonna stay. But let me do two to be on the safer side. This is one. You make sure it is completely flat. Otherwise, you are not going to have it lie flat against the wall. This is what it does. Yes. You have to struggle with this each time. I'm sorry I take this out of the camera sometimes, but I'm trying to cut it. Try not to have you make sure your fingers are clean, otherwise the stain would show on the other side of the tape, and whatever you paste it on, gonna get ugly, just like this. My fingers had some dust, so there you go. So you be careful not to do that. So I'm going to do another one to reinforce it. You see, I put another one here. This should do it. I don't know the brand name of this one, but they sell various types of this in basic supermarkets or art shops that sell artwork. Okay. I'm going to do the same. Again, you would need a tape to measure if you want something very neat. This is just a prototype. Now I'm beginning to lose patience. But for this type of thing, you should have enough patience. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something poorly measured, poorly cut, poor looking. And you have to start this all over again. Like I said, use clean hands and avoid touching that side. But because I just choose not to be that careful, I'm doing it this way. We are done. Completely done. Okay, so you take off the film. That's 16 minutes. Okay, let's just say 15 to make these two. That's 16 minutes 32 seconds. So it took us approximately 15 minutes to make this two. Look at it. There you go. We're done. We're done. So this goes on the wall like this. We are just going to do something straight up. Straight up. Okay, let me put it back on the stand while I take off the tape. I'm going to take off the tape. You see? This, I beg your pardon, the cover on the tape rather. There's a thin film that protects the sticky part, the outward sticky part. There you go. So it took us about 15 minutes to make these two, and we are going straight to use them with this phone and the charger. Okay, so this is what is supposed to happen. You see, it is sitting properly. It is sitting properly, and it's going to be against the wall. So let us go.